All right, gentlemen, we have installed Seminole out of spread and technically out of deuce. If you think of the 2 by 2 formation, spread and deuce pretty much go together. The only thing that changes, obviously, is the inside and outside receivers are flip-flopped. So, again, our numbering system from outside in looks like that. The outside receiver is 1, the inside receiver is 2 to either side. This is a 2 by 2 set. It is important to understand which direction the call is to. For example, if you look at the call up here, this is right spread Seminole right. So not only is the formation right spread, indicating that the S and the Y are to the right, but Seminole right also indicates that the right side is the post dig combination. And we have this drawn with a defense. We can kind of talk about reads a little bit. This is against our defense or any other 3-stack defense in which we're looking at 5 underneath coverage players and 3 deep coverage players. You got the 2 corners and you have the safety in the middle of the field. So I like to talk about it in terms of what the quarterback's thought process is, because that hopefully helps receivers understand what it is we're thinking about. This is actually kind of 3 plays in one. So let me back up. We have our go concept. Then we have Seminole concept as a concept by itself. A complementary play to Seminole is called Tomahawk. We will discuss that later and install it later. And then we have a third concept, which we will be talking about. Some of us, the veteran varsity players, would be familiar with it. It's our book dig concept. We also called it the big concept, in which we have front side routes and a backside route, and it's a full field progression read. So in our passing game, we have 3 concepts essentially: go concept, Seminole / Tomahawk concept, and then the big concept. After that, we have play action, and then we have some moving of the pocket that we can also do. So in terms of the straight drop back passing game, go concept and all of its tags, which again we will talk about those later. Seminole concept, which is what we're talking about today. So at first glance it might be complicated or seem like a lot, seem overwhelming, but believe me, the more familiar you become with it, the more simple it becomes, especially if you understand the big picture. And that's what I would encourage you skill guys to learn: the entire play, not just what you do, because again, based on formation, based on injuries, who knows? You may have to do a variety of things. So in my opinion, it's best to understand the entire offense and understand what everybody is doing on any particular play, so that if we happen to throw you out there, you know what you're doing. That being said, let's talk about Seminole. First of all, against the cover 3, the first look, even though it says Seminole right, so again, all the right indicates for Seminole right is that the right side, or the right pair of receivers, is running the post dig combination. All right. It does not necessarily mean that's where we're going to go with the ball. So just like go right doesn't necessarily mean we have to throw it to the right, neither does Seminole right mean that we have to throw it to the right. Why is that exactly? Well, here's why. Depending on the coverage, there are certain open spaces that if we can make a high percentage throw, obviously that's what we want to do. And I think you saw a couple of times in practice at the high percentage throw, and the one that we're looking at first is actually the comeback. So understand that if we get Seminole called and you're away from the call, so Seminole right, you're on the left hand side, and it's cover 3, all right, it's a single high safety, chances are good that you're going to get the ball, because this is our first look. It's what we call a cover 3 beater. The reason we call it that is because, generally speaking, this guy over here, this outside linebacker, is a flat defender. Okay, so and this particular play puts him in a bind, because normally he's going to be reading this guy. Okay, so if he sees number 2 running across the middle, mentally he's got kind of a decision to make. He's got a dilemma. Is he going to do what he's supposed to do, which is drop to the flat, or is he going to make a mistake and try to come up and collision this receiver here? So quarterbacks understand that you're reading this guy to throw the comeback. You're not necessarily reading the corner, but you're reading this guy first. If you snap the ball and that guy does what he's supposed to and screams out to the flat right now, then obviously you're not going to throw it to the comeback, and you would come back to this side to make your next read. But so I try to identify this flat defender right here. And you saw a couple times that guy was in no position to make a play on this ball, and we hit that a couple of times. So understand that. That's the first look, that's the first idea against cover 3. Alright, if we have a too high safety, the comeback is kind of out of the picture. Or if you don't like the comeback, then let's talk about what happens. So this guy's a flat defender on this side. This guy is also the flat defender on this side. Alright, so again, what is he going to do is the question. Is he going to drop like he's supposed to drop to the flat? Which if he does, it most likely opens up a window for the dig immediately. And you know, here's the thing about the dig. It's a difficult route to hit if you don't hit it on time. So when you guys are running this, as soon as you get to the 10 and you turn and start working your way across, you should be getting the ball right in this neighborhood here, or almost, you know, a few steps after you turn and make your cut and start coming across. You're probably not going to catch it over the middle, because you notice here's these 3 dudes. There's a lot of traffic, and the longer the quarterback holds the ball, the deeper these guys are going to drop. What they're supposed to do is, what they read pass, they're supposed to drop to the holes. Okay, these guys all have holes to cover. This guy's a flat defender, he's supposed to be over here. This guy's a flat defender, he's supposed to be over here. So you can see that the windows are going to be kind of tight for this play. So again, what is this guy doing? If I've come to the front side, what is this guy doing? Is he running to the flat like he's supposed to, which means he's going to take away the drag? Well, then I should be hitting the dig, and I should be hitting it right in that window between where this guy's dropping and where that guy is evacuating to cover the flat, if that makes sense. Okay, so both of you guys need to be on the same page that that's going to be relatively right away. Alright, now what you saw today is these guys, while they are expected to go to the flat, they also have to play this guy on a vertical release. So when the S runs downfield at 10 yards, this guy is thinking, oh no, he's running a go route, which means he has to carry him vertically to try to prevent that, to help the safety out and take away the deep threat. So if he does run vertically with this, and you can see that the drag's going to be wide open, which was a couple times also. And that's a nice easy throw with some touch. You don't have to rifle it out there. Put some touch on it, let our guy catch it, and let him turn upfield and run with it. Alright, so that's the decision. If I don't go to the comeback, then I have the dig to the drag based on what this guy is doing. Alright, when does the post come into play? Kind of a game time decision, or a game planning situation. It's also going to depend on what the safety does. So really it's a lot to see for the quarterbacks. We hit this once for a touchdown in practice, and it was because really good route, and we actually got, I don't know if we got behind the corner or if we got inside the corner to make the play, but you can kind of see based on where the defense is, there is a home run opportunity here. So in my opinion, the first read is comeback. If I don't like that, then I'm going to check the home run second. Okay, so what happens is, if I don't like this, then I'm coming this way. Home run, based on what? Well, really it's based on the safety. If the safety runs that way, post is out of the picture. If safety's dropping straight back, then maybe I'm going to take a look at it and get it out there. Okay, if I don't like that, then I come down to the flat defender and I'm deciding dig or drag, depending on what that guy does. Okay, so from a receiver standpoint, all 4 of you guys can get the ball. You know, on this play. Don't fall asleep. Run precise routes. Couple of coaching points. The post is at 10 yards. The dig is at 10 yards. The comeback is 12 back to 10 to the outside, toward the sideline. Alright? The drag. You have to be under 5 yards. The way that this is drawn here, it's under the linebackers. Alright? In fact, I mean, this is kind of a cruddy drawing tool, but you'll get the idea. It needs to be under 5, let's see what I mean? It's not good. under 5 yards. If you get past 5, you're too deep, and these guys are going to take your head off. So it has to be under 5, not only for your sake, your health, but also to have proper separation between the low route, which is you, and the high route, which is the dig. All right, so understand that from a spacing standpoint. These guys are going to take a run read step, and then they see pass, they're going to drop. If they see you coming, all three of these linebackers are taught to collision you, so you need to get through here. Don't get your head taken off. Other coaching point. You have Z or S, whoever is running, it could be anybody. Again, if we go deuce, whoever is running the drag route, you have until you reach the center, or where the ball is, the quarterback, whatever you want to call it, before you turn and look for the ball. So what I would expect is, as you're coming along, you should be looking at linebackers, looking at linebackers. I'm avoiding linebackers. I'm not going to get my head taken off. I'm avoiding linebackers. Okay, once I get even with the center or even with the quarterback, now my eyes should be on him, because we want to hit you right somewhere in the hash neighborhood, a couple yards inside to a couple yards outside the hash, so you can catch it and get upfield. This is a really, really difficult place for a defense to defend when this guy is carrying a vertical route and this guy's carrying a vertical route. There's nothing else out here, okay? So you can catch it and get upfield and get some serious yardage. All right, understand that. So that kind of takes care of it from a right spread standpoint. We can flip this whole thing over. This would be left spread Seminole left, okay? And then obviously the other thing we can do is deuce this. So I'm gonna, for the sake of right now, just erase the player letters and just simply put you where you should be. So let's say this is right deuce. This would then be the Y. This would be the S. You're off the line. This would be the X, and this would be the Z. Now obviously the only thing that kind of changes a little bit is your depth. You know, it shortened up based on the diagram, but this should still go to 10 yards. You guys still need to run this to 10. This is at 10, not at 12, whatever it shows. So here, so I can keep it fresh in your mind, we'll just do it right now. This is at 10 yards, okay? At 10, boom. This is at 10 as well. Try to make life easy for you. Boom, 10-yard post. The drag route needs to be under 5. On the line of scrimmage is actually a little bit more difficult to run, so a couple of vertical steps, and then, you know, protect yourself. You've got until the middle of the formation, center, quarterback, to turn and look for the ball. Backside, you're probably going to have to extend this a little bit. You really need to get to 12 yards. Why 12? Well, here's what happens. Defenders are generally taught, once that guy goes to 10, if he doesn't make a move by 10 yards, I need to turn and run because he's running deep. So once I get his hips turned, then I can break off my comeback. Always outside, always to the sideline. I don't get the ball right away, right? Start drifting to the sideline. Coaching points there for that. So this would be, well, it could be right or left deuce. Doesn't really matter, but it's Seminole left because the post and the dig is coming on this side. So it doesn't matter what the formation is. That's what Seminole left looks like. If I flip it back to the right, that's what Seminole right looks like. So again, understand each route, each position based on the direction of the play. Have an overall understanding of the offense. I'll tell it to you this way. The more you understand about our offense, the better chance you have of getting on the field, because if we know we can put you multiple places, we feel a lot better about getting you on the field somewhere, especially with injuries and things that happen during the course of the season. So review this please over the weekend. We're coming back to it right away. It's installed, it's ready to go. So it's in practice, 7-on-7's coming up, everything like that, and let's make it happen. Have a great weekend.